$15 million. Speaking at the UNC media briefing at the UNC headquarters, 31 Mulchan Suchan Road, Chaguanas, on January 18, Benjamin said the process of releasing funds for Carnival has begun in a timely manner. All right, and the ministry is ensuring that all Carnival-related entities remain and operate to the highest standard of accountability and transparency. Funding is being disbursed in structured tranches to the respective agencies. All right, so that money is definitely being distributed on time. And I tell you what, if you have not been to the Carnival Village or the Flavor Village yet, brother man, I ain't lying. I went to meet Chris there. Chris and I were supposed to go to the Carnival Village on Friday. Chris tell me you'll reach there for about 8 o'clock. I said, no problem. I should be there about 15 minutes after you. Brother man, he tell me when 8 o'clock, a little after 8, about maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes past 8, Chris say, he messaged me and he tell me he inside. I said, well, how it looking? He say, yeah man, there's a little traffic to come in, but I get park easy. Say, no problem. I leave exactly 10 to 12 minutes after Chris messaged me. I went LSE Plaza by the ATM to take out some cash. And from there, I had to come wrong the Savannah to go wrong by Belmont side, right? Brother man, I ain't reaching that Savannah. All that time was 8:25. Is when I hit by Belmont there. I ain't reaching the Savannah until 5 past 10. From by Belmont side. 8:25. When I see 9 something and I reach by Napa yet, I say, what trouble is this? When I do reach in the Savannah now, well, I ain't get I can't get park. Same time Chris messaged me, he say, I wrapping up, I don't get all I need. I say, all right, well, I driving back all the Savannah now. So I just went for a drive to sit down in traffic for 2 hours on Friday. But I tell you this, in driving into the Savannah and looking in, because you could see, if you see people, I have never seen, all the time, people message me over the weekend saying, Stefan, this Carnival Village is a new thing. And I said, no, the Carnival Village has been there for the longest while. It's been there every year. Every year NCC does do a Carnival Village. But like people now know about this thing, the way that it's been promoted and presented. Let me tell you something, if you see people, I talk about people walking with the children, the little children, after 8, 9 in the night, well, it was 10 o'clock when I reached Savannah, parents with the children now go in because they had on Friday, I'll tell you what they had on Friday. Let me see if I could get to the, let's see. I'll tell you what they had on Friday. On Friday, they had Faye, Nadia Batson, Nyla Blackburn, Lady Lava, Patrice Roberts, Nisha B, Destra, Jadel, Drupati, Terry Lyons, Nessa Preppy, Lyrical, Anika Berry, Freetong, and I hear Second Star and Certified Samson was there as well. And that is free. Right? So you get that free entertainment. Artists come out and perform. And on the other side with the Flavor Village, they perform on that side too. Because what happened, I give Chris the instructions, and the directions, Chris called me Sunday to tell me get everything by the Flavor Village. I said, Chris's Carnival Village was supposed to go. He go on the Flavor Village. First he liked food. He went there, He ended up by Flavor Village. But what happened, like the artists were performing on that side and then over on the next side, and it was back and forth or something to the effect like that, right? But the John Cupid Carnival Village is on the western side of the Savannah. The Flavor Village is on the eastern side of the Savannah. All right? But boy, if you see people on both sides, if you see people, I like this. What's that? I didn't hear you clear. Yeah. Here are people like ants. Like ants. I have never seen the Carnival Village at the Savannah pumping like that. What NCC has presented there is levels above anything that we have ever had at that Queen's Park Savannah in terms of our carnival village. The flavor village and what they've done there for the vendors. And mind you, it's the street vendors and the street man, the street vendors. Because when Peter Kanai was here, the chairman of NCC, he said they had been approached by some corporate entities who wanted booths at the Savannah, and they blanked them. And they said, no, this village is not for the big corporate conglomerates. This is for the average man who plying the trade in terms of culinary stuff, right? Whether it's wings, polori, wherever it is, right? Barbecue, whatever, you name it. It has it. You understand what I'm telling you? And you could go down there, and how they've presented it is in a way where, from a tourism standpoint, if you go there, I'm telling you, you're going back. And they got stuff happening, I think it's every night. I think every night is that thing going on in Carnival Village. And remember, when Peter Kanai went and opened our Carnival Village, they boo him, They boo him because he moved the Carnival Village from the eastern side of the North Stand to the western side of the North Stand. And that's why and notwithstanding the boos that he got, right, because of that, the place pack out. What they have done there, they really, really should take a bow. And if you have not been to the Carnival Village, if you have not been to the Flavor Village yet, you need to come and see what they have presented in the Savannah. It's amazing. All right? So we're moving on. Baron, ailing Baron, gets money for medical expenses. Right? The family of Calypso singer Timothy Baron Watkins received monetary assistance from the Ministry of Culture and Community Development on January the 18th to assist with the medical expenses, with his medical expenses. I want to big up Michelle Benjamin, the MP for Moruga. Michelle Benjamin has been doing tremendous work. She and I have been in contact. We've had conversations about the carnival and things like that. And she has done tremendous work. The ministry has released $2.3 million in funding for unsponsored bands, money for Baron's medical expenses. We also have the part that they played as well alongside NCC in the development of the Carnival Village and the Flavor Village. And there are other aspects of the carnival that she is dealing with as well to ensure that everything is right up. Okay? And I have to say, she's doing a tremendous job. Not only in the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, but there is a guy that put out a video from Moruga, bigging up Michelle Benjamin, not for anything with the Ministry of Culture, but for the work that she has done in Moruga. Because while she's doing that with culture and she's in the middle of carnival, work getting done in Moruga as well. And there was a guy that took to social media and he really spoke highly. I have the video there, but I don't know if we'll have time to run it today. But I got to big up because she walked in. Right? And you know what I like about Michelle? Michelle is on the ground. She's one of those. She's one of what we need. There are very few. You see them grassroots MPs? The people that grounded. They have their roots deep down in the soil of the grassroots people. That is Michelle Benjamin. She's one of them. You understand? You have others too. I don't want to start calling names, but it have others too. All right? But I don't want to start calling names, because if I start calling names, then they're going to say, well, how you mention this one and that one and the other one? And if I start calling names and I ain't mention it, it's because I ain't think you're rooted that deep. Right? But Michelle is one of them. Sturge tells PNM to stop playing the race card. Yes, the race card. Proud black men and women in National Security Council. We're going to play the clip where Sturge spoke, so I won't go through this article. We just deal with that headline. Moving on from that. UNC PRO says government policy formed at UNC headquarters. Let me tell you something, And I'm saying this to the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Whoever advising all you to do press conferences on a Sunday at the UNC headquarters giving you bad advice. Optics is a hell of a thing in anything that you're doing. Whether we presenting a show here on Breaking Dawn, whether we go outside to do a presentation, whether you are a corporate entity and you're having something and you're inviting people to come and see your showroom or whatever the case might be. Whatever it is, optics is very important, especially in politics. And let me tell you something. You see the optics of doing press conferences on a Sunday at the UNC headquarters with a national flag and a UNC flag in the background, that ain't making no sense. Say what you want. If the PNM did that at Balize House, we would not hear the end of it. So let me straighten all you out to that one time. It is not a good look. And only keep trying to justify it. You cannot justify it. That is your party headquarters. You are now in, you know what they operating like? They operating like they're still in opposition. When in opposition, they would hold press conferences at the UNC headquarters on a Sunday. You are not in opposition again. You are now the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Therefore, the resources that you did not have when you were in opposition, guess what? You have it now. So, where your communication is lacking, the timing of your press conferences might be lacking as well. Utilize the resources that you have at hand. I cannot understand. I really can't understand. I watching this thing and I'm saying, but wait now. So nobody is looking at this and saying to them, hey, that's not good. It's a nobody in the party could look at the press conference, look at it, go to social media and look at it. It's not a good look. The only way that should be even entertained is if there is some sort of work going on at the diplomatic center that prevents you from hosting the press conference there, so you use your party headquarters as a backup. And even then, there should be an option before you even resort to going to the party headquarters to do any press conference on a Sunday. It's not a good look. It's not justifiable. Stop it. Nobody is saying to do a press conference on a Sunday, but do it at the diplomatic center. Anyway, next headline. The junior panelists at the time, yesterday was Junior Panorama. Junior panelists shine in the savannah. Oh, there are real pictures, boy. Lord Father, look at people. All right, nice. Okay, well, it actually don't have a report on it, but real pictures. So, I'll just skip past that. I thought that I'd be able to read a little piece of that. All right, 4 held for a stolen vehicle. And that stolen vehicle was recovered in a police exercise. Oh, how I wish mine was, but nevertheless. Glad for the person who owned that one, you know. Glad you got back your vehicle. Some people don't, like me. But you got back yours, so good for you. You know what I mean? Overjoyed. And 4 persons were held as well. 31-year-old jailed after robbing a police officer. Then you have the Central Bank. This was the next massive story that broke over the weekend. The Central Bank has asked the High Court to postpone the continuation of its long-running lawsuit against former directors of CL Financial and its former chairman, Lawrence Dupree, after the government laid the long-awaited CLICO Commission of Inquiry report in Parliament. Imagine that, eh? All you saw what came out of that report? $4 billion in legal fees. I will repeat that, you know. Not $4 million, you know. $4 billion in legal fees was spent. That report was sidelined and buried for the last 10 years. While persons at the bottom of the CLICO ladder got nothing. All who was getting paid salary in US dollars, all kind of 20,000 US and all kind of thing. And that was one of the smaller salaries, 10 years pass and nothing on that report. But we like to talk about doing somewhat white-collar crime, right? But I have one white-collar this morning, so I don't know. White-collar crime, man. 10 years, they sit down on that report and they did nothing. 10 years. No, sorry, let me not say they did nothing. They did a lot. They spent $4 billion and give it to the lawyers. Need I repeat again, the difference between 1 million and 1 billion is 833 years. Anyway, before we go to the break, I tell you the kind of things that take place in this country, boy, I don't know now, boy. I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, we're in the middle of the carnival season, so we want to remind you to boost your immune system. That's right. Boost your immune system with Jameson Immunity products to fight off the seasonal sniffles, such as their cold fighter with Echinacea Vitamin C Chews with the honey lemon flavor. And for additional support, try the delicious Vitamin D3 Chews and Ultra Strength Zinc. Chew, fight, and feel amazing with Jameson, trusted vitamins and minerals. And also, we want to remind you that the CFVS Learning Consultants are here and they're available, as every child deserves a chance to shine. And sometimes all they need is the right support behind them. That's where the CFVS Learning Consultants steps in. They work hand in hand with parents, helping children build confidence, stay motivated, and grow at their own pace. The CFVS offers personalized learning plans, confidence building, and parent coaching, all designed to make learning clear, supportive, and enjoyable for your child. And because life is busy, their services are fully online. So your child can learn comfortably from home. They support students of all ages and ability levels, meeting every child right where they are. So the CFVS is committed to closing learning gaps and empowering every child to shine. For more information, you can email cfvsservices@gmail.com or call 275-1603. That's CFVS Learning Consultants, helping children rise with confidence. We take a break. When we come back from the break, we will get into the zones of special operation as we take a listen to Wayne Sturge as he spoke during the debate and had to rubbish the entire narrative of some sort of race issue. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this.
They gave us the music.
I feel like home.
They gave us the memory.
Woman, you could run away too.
They gave us the rhythms of life.
Trinidad and Tobago, join us for a special tribute to our legendary musical icons who have passed on in Gone But Not Forgotten.
Including Bunny, Swallow, Singing Francine, Shadow, Arrow, Maestro, Rootsman, Lax, Sandoli, The Mighty Terror, plus lots more. Their music still lives on in our heart. An unforgettable night as we celebrate their legacy in Gone But Not Forgotten. Wednesday, February 4th at Napa and Thursday, February 5th at Sapa. Showtime both nights, 6:30 p.m. Your master of ceremonies, Sonny Bling.
Tickets $300 and $250.
Early bird tickets bought by Monday, January 26th cost $50 less.
For more info, call 732-3402. Gone But Not Forgotten.
Is your life stuck in the same struggles again and again? Pandith Bhargav helps remove negative energy, solve love problems, fix marriage disputes, clear financial stress, and stabilize job and business issues. With accurate psychic, palm, and horoscope readings, he guides you toward the right path. His powerful 30-minute session brings quick relief and clear direction. Take the first step today. Call +1 868-347-2350.
If you want to be a better chef at home or advance your professional career,
Chef Shiraz Culinary Academy is the best place to be.
some of the courses that we offer here at the Academy: Creative National Cuisine 1 and 2, Baking and Pastry 1 and 2, Kids Summer Cooking Classes, one-day classes at the workshop. We have Asian cooking classes and certificate in culinary arts, food lovers and professionals.
Start your culinary journey today with us at the Chef Shiraz Culinary Academy.
Ostomy care is a unique and intimate condition that can seem challenging for individuals afflicted by it. At Better Life Ostomy Care, they understand and offer a wide range of products and services that will allow ostomates to lead a better life. From colostomy and urostomy pouches, paste and powders, antibacterial wipes, Brava strips, deodorants, gloves, gauze, bed liners, and much, much more. They also have RN care available for ostomy home care with affordable starter packages. No need to look for nurse or supply. Everything is just a phone call away. Better Life Ostomy Care is located at number 4 Mosque Street, Caroni. You can call them at 308-6709 or 472-5878 or visit their website at www.betterlifeostomycareTT.com to find out more about their offerings. You can also write to them at betterlifeostomycareTT@gmail.com or find them on Facebook. Better Life Ostomy Care, servicing ostomates with a better quality of life.
Come experience the Classic Russo Grand Opening 2026 on Thursday, 15th January, City Hall, Knox Street, Port of Spain. Admission $200, 2 persons on 1 ticket for $300. And Friday, 16th January at Kaiso under the Royal Umbrella, corner Broom Street and Tragrit Road, opposite JMMB Bank. Admission $150. Both shows 8 p.m. with performances by All Rounder, Crazy, Contender, Manchild, Hamidullah, Lady Wonder, Shirlane, Brian London, Twiggy, Dr. Wilby, Charlan Bailey, Master G, Mark Eastman, Garth Sinclair, the youthful Kyle Cowie, Andre Nelson, Nefta Kojo, Jay Edwards, and many others. MC Shirlane Hendrickson. Chorus by the Classic Russo Diamonds. Music by Classic Russo Orchestra. Come, enjoy the Classic Russo experience. Get your tickets at Crosby St. James, Tuco Office, New City Mall, and at the box office on the day of the show. It's giveaways and more giveaways. It's Classic Russo for Classic Kaiso 2026.
Why just manage disease when you can reverse it? At Setwaya's Holistic Health Clinic, we don't just mask symptoms, we focus on reversing illness naturally. Imagine freedom from medications and the cycle of dependence. Our approach dives deep into uncovering root causes without herbs, tonics, or medications. From diabetes and heart disease to mental health, obesity, and more, our personalized care is transforming lives. Ready to begin? Book your consultation today, either in our San Fernando office or online. Call or WhatsApp 279-3935 or 761-1952. Your health journey starts now at Setwayo's Holistic Health Clinic, where transformation is within reach.
At Adams Optical, we care for your vision with everything from stylish frames, contact lenses, and sunglasses, starting at just $595, to advanced eye care services. We also diagnose and manage conditions like glaucoma and cataracts with our in-house ophthalmologist. Additional services include OCT, VFT, and cataract surgeries. Visit us at San Fernando, Chaguanas, or Rio Claro.
Are you living with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes? Manage it with the unique Jameson 100% complete multivitamin with 400 micrograms of chromium to lower blood glucose, lutein for your eyes, B vitamins for energy, vitamin C and lycopene for antioxidant support. Take a step towards a healthier tomorrow and make the proactive switch to Jameson today.
At Lashana's Palette Design, we turn simple wood into stunning professional palette furniture for any space. Cozy up your living room, elevate your bedroom, dine in style or relax outdoors, all with custom designs made just for you. Bring your vision to life with custom-built furniture that tells your story. Call or WhatsApp us today at 868-366-0800 and follow our social media to see the magic at Lashana's Palette Design.
All right, so we're back, and just before we get going here, I want to remind you about the Keoluk range of products backed by science, over 900 scientific research and clinical trials, all made from the aged garlic extract. They include the Keoluk cleanse and digestion, the blood pressure health, the cholesterol health, the total heart health, the Keoluk circulation health, all right, and they also have the Keo green powder drink mix and the Keodophilus probiotics. So what we want you to do, any product in this range of products from Keoluk, you could pick it up at a pharmacy or health store across the country. For more information, you can always WhatsApp them on 728-0338. That is 728-0338. If you have any questions about any one of the products and more information on them, you could WhatsApp them on that. They'll give you the information and then you could proceed from there. All right, that's Keoluk. So we know that these zones of special operations has created quite a stir. And as expected, par for the course, I mean, you didn't have to have a crystal ball to figure out that the opposition was going to use race as soon as this debate started. So they have put out a narrative about race, because remember, you have an Indian government in power now, so any kind of initiative, that, is race. That nothing to do with crime. It has nothing to do with anything like that. It's just race, right? So that's the narrative that they put out. Wayne Sturge, in his contribution, sought to eliminate that narrative as a conversation. However, I see that people still, they're hell-bent on making it about that. But I want to play you what Wayne Sturge said. So give me Wayne Sturge 1, and then we'll go to 2 after. Give me 1.
Rampant among bloggers who support the People's National Movement. And when you look at the comments of the people who every day comment on these bloggers, they view this as targeting a certain ethnic group. They've brought race into this. And that is so unfortunate. Let me tell you why. And they made reference several times to say the Prime Minister could declare a zone and the Prime Minister could declare a zone. The Prime Minister, when she declares a zone, is declaring that zone whilst in her capacity as the presiding officer of the National Security Council. So it's not the Prime Minister by herself declaring a zone. So let's get the race out of the way. Because let me tell you another safeguard and why there's no race in this. When the Prime Minister declares a zone, it is based, first of all, on data. It is based on information. There must be a basis. It can't be the Prime Minister waking up one morning and saying, let me declare a zone. And when the Prime Minister in the National Security Council, presiding in the National Security Council, declares a zone, then the other persons in the National Security Council, and let me go through all of them because I had to write it down because it kept going on and on and on. So let me put this race bogey to rest. The National Security Council is made up of the Attorney General, a black man. The National Security Council, a proud black man from Bella Road, Belmont. The National Security Council is also made up of my friend Xander, Roger Alexander, member for Tunapuna. A proud black man. My friend Sean Sobers is a member of the National Security Council. A proud black man. Right. And then I'm also on the National Security Council. I'm black. In features and fixtures. The Commissioner of Police who has to attend, unlike San Fernando, the Commissioner of Police who has to attend the National Security Council and make representations is a black man. The Chief of Defense Staff who has to attend is also a black man. A little fairer, so in Trinidad they call him a red man, because he's a black man. The commanding officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment is a black man. The commanding officer of the Air Guard is a black woman. The commanding officer of the Coast Guard is a black man. So, what are you saying, that all of these black men and women would get together and just say, let's target black people? You see, they are using this race thing, and they started it with the Stand Your Ground legislation, and they tried to bring it here. And we had to tell them, and they're doing it again, we had to tell them that Stand Your Ground is in another country where black people are a minority, where the police are in the white majority, and that is not going to happen here. So the majority of the TTPS, majority of the TTDF happen to be black people. So are you saying that they are racist too, against their own? We need to put that to rest, because that is the scare tactics they rely on. Yeah, because we are all in this country black and brown. And in any event, we are all a check and balance on each other. And in any event, as the previous speaker said, decisions of the National Security Council are subject to the scrutiny of the courts by way of judicial review. Is scrutiny by the courts not a safeguard? It is.
All right. That's Wayne Sturge there. But despite that, people still making this a race issue. But, I mean, Sturge makes an excellent point. So what are you all saying? That all these members, all these people that are members of the National Security Council have decisions to make, the vast majority of them, right? If it have 2 people on that council that are not of African descent, it have plenty. So they're sitting around on a table and saying, well, okay, let me go and target black people. That's the narrative that the PNM is using. And it's all over social media, you know. It's a dangerous, dangerous narrative. I've always said that. That divisive, waste of time, race talk is one of the most dangerous narratives it have. And unfortunately, they have the paid bloggers and whatever circulating this nonsense. And people are buying into it because people don't watch the Parliament channel. Far less for during carnival time. They don't watch it normally, so far less when it's carnival and you're going to Parliament in January and you're having a debate on something, they ain't watching it. So they have to depend on who? Either the media, mainstream, print, or television and radio, or social media. So when you have a group of paid political bloggers putting out one side of a story and one side of a narrative and one side of a conversation, and messages like that are being suppressed, what do you expect going to happen? I'm surprised. It's in the news this morning, and there's a whole article on what Wayne Sturge said. You understand? But he went further. Run me the next clip.
Has to be on the basis of things gathered that suggest there's a high crime rate, there's rampant criminality, the murder has escalated, and things of that nature. It's not whimsical. It is data-driven. So what I would ask my learned friends when they go out to I-95 and these other stations next week to parrot their narrative in the hope of, one said they're going to try to convince the independent Senate, the presidential senators. I would ask them to leave the race bogey out of it, because that is just scaring people. And our mandate is to remove the fear. Because in these communities, right in Toko Sandigrandi, just recently, let me give you an example. Right in Toko Sandigrandi on the Toko Main Road, people have to pay tax. They have to pay tax. Imagine they have to pay $3,000 a month in tax. Not to the government, you know, to the gangs, if they want to continue running the shop. And this group of people, a family of 15, they couldn't pay the tax. The tax is $3,000 a month. The little parlor didn't make the $3,000. And you know what? They burned down the people's house. Does the rule of law exist up there? And that's not the only place. There are many other places like that, where the criminals basically run rampant, where the rule of law does not exist. Just today, we got information about a group of criminals who decided they are going to take over somebody's house in Toko Sandigrandi and take over their business. And that had to be sorted out. That is what we are dealing with. And when we come to sort it out, if we have to lock down a defined area, we are not locking it down for 180 days. It's a zone. And in that zone, a cordon will be established for 24 hours. Is that really so intrusive? And contrary to what the previous speaker said, it's not that you can't leave during the 24 hours or you can't come in. You can. Of course, you will be subject, once there's reasonable suspicion that you should be stopped and searched or detained, then of course the law has to do what the law has to do. This thing about a curfew, right in Toko Sandigrandi, there are several communities, Babande, Koka, the list could go on, where there's no electricity, dot road, no water, and the residents have to get in there by a certain hour because the bandits have imposed a curfew. So what are we to do as a government? A government is responsible for upholding the rule of law. And if the government cannot uphold the rule of law, then it is the democratic right of the electorate to get rid of them. And that's why the PNM government is there. And it has to be.
All right. Let me get the Jamaica ZOSO statistics. Right. So the Jamaica Zones of Special Operation, which is what this particular exercise or operation will mirror. So, since implemented, the impact on crime, there are three aspects to it. Clear, hold, build. All right? Clear means removing criminal gangs from the community. That is one. Two, maintain security presence. So, after you remove the criminal gangs, you now have to maintain a security presence among the law-abiding citizens in the community to ensure that it does not happen where gangs come back into the community and infiltrate the community and the nonsense starts back. And then you have the build aspect, which is the most beautiful part of the operation, zone of special operation, where the government is legally obligated to rebuild the community. Understand, there is a legal obligation on the government to rebuild the community. With this problem. Nobody is talking about that aspect. Nobody want to talk about that aspect of it at all. It's only about race and targeting this and targeting that. And oh gosh, all they want crime, all they want the crime problem, all they want solutions, but all they don't want solutions. Anyway, so, since implemented in Jamaica, Murders have been down by 42 to 43% as of late 2025. Shootings have been down by 32%. Major crimes fell significantly in zones of special operation areas. There was a 7.8% homicide reduction in 2023, and the overall crime has dropped by 14%. The key takeaways: strong short-term gains. So they have established that in the short term, there are significant gains. Long-term success, however, needs the build phase. So when you rebuild the communities now, like I've always been saying for years, you could come back to me. I have been saying this for years. Crime is not just about locking up people or going after criminals and going to court. Crime also has a community development aspect to it. You could check me throughout the last 11 to 12 years on this program. I have always said that. Always. You see, that's the one thing with me. I don't pivot. You understand? If I don't like something, I'll mention I don't like something. But if it's something I could support, I will support it. And I don't swing all over the place like everybody else because they're unhappy or they can't get what they want and they're like little spoiled children all over the place. I don't do that. And if I'm wrong, I take my licks. But I've always said, and I've always been consistent with community development being instrumental in the fight against crime. This particular operation and legislation has that built into it so that the government is obligated to not just weed out gangs from the communities, not just stay and secure the area, but to also unleash a series of social development programs and initiatives that would rebuild the community. So maybe my little painting project might get a little attention when I talk about painting a wall, painting the communities, brighten up the place, things like that. Because once you have removed the negative elements from a community and the positive remain, and you rebuild that community and give people hope, we could progress. But nobody's having this deeper conversation because, as usual, in Trinidad and Tobago, once the issue of race come up, woo, that's it, party done. You want to hear nothing else. Nobody likes anything progressive in this country. Gutter politics at its best, surface conversations, and nonsense narratives. That's all they like. Rum shop talk. In terms of areas to be targeted, right? Pull up the UK advisory for me. Did I say there? No, the UK advisory. Ah, beautiful, thanks. This is a UK advisory, a travel advisory. Good? Because crime affects tourism. Yes? We can agree on that? Okay. If you go to the UK advisory, travel advisory, this is what you will see. High-risk neighborhoods in Port of Spain to stay clear of include Laventille, Beetham, Sealots, Cocorit, and the interior of the Queen's Park Savannah. This is UK putting out a travel advisory. Places to avoid after dark. Downtown Port of Spain. All beaches at night. Fort George and the Queen's Park Savannah. Violent crime. Gang violence, shootings and robberies is common in Trinidad, especially in parts of Port of Spain and surrounding areas. The UK there and the US Department of State. And they base this advisory on news reports and other forms of data. So we are trying to tell me now, if the national security level decide that Lavanti, Beetham, Silots, Cocorit, and Fort George, and let's say downtown Port of Spain, and parts of Diego Martin, and I want to make it very clear. I think that the problem expands beyond these areas. Good? But we're dealing with it from the PNM narrative. So if the National Security Council decides this, and the government comes in the morning and says, this is the list of zones of special operation, where you go tell me? Is our race thing? Are we serious in this country? Sturge mentioned Toko, Sangre Grande, Tunapuna should be on that list as well. Lest we forget how much murders take place in Tunapuna, how much extortion has been taking place in areas like Tunapuna. Konupia should be another one, because Konupia, on that southern main road stretch, with all those businesses that have been complaining about extortion for the longest while, all of that taking place in the Konupia area. Now, for that to take place, there has to be some level or presence of gang activity in the area for them to be extorted. Or a gang could be in one area and target a business in another area and tell them, look, you have to pay a tax if you want to keep operating your business. Remember when it was one of Source people get kidnapped? Just last year? Remember when the vehicle pull up and the men running, I think that is, one of them, I think it's Source, and I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But I think so, if my memory is that bad. It's Source, right? Then you have areas like Claxton Bay, right? You have Penal. Good? So how do you establish a zone of operation? Ideally, it's a difficult thing to do, but it has to be data-driven. We could all agree on that, I believe. But how do you look at that data? Well, okay, there should be some sort of presence within the area of Penal, because we've had multiple crimes committed in Penal over the last year or two. Penal has become a hotspot. Nobody could convince me otherwise. But where are the criminals coming from? Well, there's going to be a database of that. Because based on a crime being committed in Penal, if suspects are held, God, bad English. When suspects are held, right, they will of course have a database of where they reside. If they're from Penal, Chaguanas, San Fernando, Diego Martin, Mova, wherever, right? There must be a database of where they're from, and that they came down to the area and they committed crime in the area, because nobody commits crime in their own area. In St. James, right? Where I could say I grew up in Barataria and St. James. And I could tell you, St. James was always a town, nobody could have come in and make no trouble. In the time of the Panthers and them, you come in St. James and you won't get trouble, the Panthers and them will beat you straight out of St. James. You understand? And run you out of St. James and tell you, it ain't supposed to have no problem in here. We just have no problem in St. James, you know. St. James never had a problem. But after the Panthers and them era pass, man started committing crime in St. James. At first, you know where it was coming from? Outside of St. James. So they know St. James is a tongue and no thing, but it always had lime and whatever going on. And men used to come from outside of St. James, put on a robbery and ride out. That's how it works. So okay, where is your zone of special operation? How are we establishing that? We looking down St. James, or we looking down where the bandit come from? And over time, of course, St. James established its own criminal networks and whatever the case might be, because everything, that's how it expands. So it used to be up in Kandahar, Bonds Road, you name it. Right? But this is how it happens. So what are we supposed to do? Bury our heads in the sand and say we ain't doing nothing? Anyway, we had to take the break. We'll come back and take some phone calls until we get to Eden Heights. I want to deal with this. Right? We're dealing with this. We'll get public opinion on it. But you see this waste of time narrative? I am tired of it. I am tired of it. And yes, man could migrate and go to other areas when they know it have police coming to the areas and that kind of thing, right? But here's an interesting fact about that. There is a whole movement, right, based on Trinidad. Whether you like the music or don't like the music is irrelevant. I like some of it. Some of it I'm no big fan. But it has some of the music that I would listen to and that kind of thing. Director, use a man in that kind of vibration too, right? That all that kind of era thing, right? How much Trinidad artists could leave the area and go and perform? How much Trinidad artists could leave the zone and go and perform outside? Hardly any. Why? Why? Why they can't leave? Take a guess. Take a guess why they can't leave. Is Diddy's plumber up inside of there? Not leaving. You're sure right. That's a fact. It have talent in these communities. They sing in the style of music, whatever, no problem. Right, to each their own. But they're talented. It's a movement. They have a lot of support all over the country. People love the movement. People will support them. Whenever you hear about a Trinidad concert, whenever you hear about that, when was the last Trinidad concert? What? In jail. Well, how to be? For as big as the movement has grown, and I just draw an example for you, for as big as the movement has grown, for all of the talent that they have inside the deal, they can't put on a show. Why? Why they can't put on a show? Because this artist connected to that gang, and that gang connected to this one, and this artist connected to our next gang, and if this one come out his own, and you go to perform over here, they might kill him before he reach back in his own. That is real. That is real. So let's sit down there with all the race talk. Me have time for you. Set. Let me get set real quick. And we go to the break and we come back and take the phone calls. Set Wyo's Holistic Health Clinic, powered by nutritional therapy. All right? Why manage a disease when you could reverse it naturally? So, they specialize in reversing cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, digestive disorders, hypertension, and more. It is drug-free, supplement-free, root cause healing through nutritional therapy. You can call or WhatsApp 279-3935 or 761-1952. Book your appointment today. Rebuild your health from the inside out naturally. And remember, you can pick up the book. You are not sick, you are malnourished. Set Wyo Laborde is the author. It's in RIK bookstores nationwide. It's on Amazon, and you can call Set directly and place your order as well. Stay tuned. We will be back after this with your calls.
This coming Monday, January 19th, it's your last day to purchase physical tickets for the massive 3-car raffle promoted on behalf of Queens Royal College.
There will be no further extensions, so get your tickets by this Monday, January 19th.
Draw date is Saturday, January 24th at the college. Some ticket outlets include IslandEtickets.com, Mart, Liquor Palace, Dingle Main Road, Abana Supermarket, Sign Village, Pinal, Uncle Beto, Santa Cruz, Better Deal Supermarket, Cunupia and Aranguez, Cans Liquor, Diego Martin Main Road, Ramsing Sports, Chaguanas and Cooper, Bobby Sport, Current, Mirage Supermarket, Sangre Grande, West B Supermarket, Diego Martin and Tacarigua, John Supermarket, Upper Bourne Road, St. James, Payless Hardware, Diego Martin Main Road, Dodge Roti, Pitti Valley, Mirage Westside Arima, Western Pharmacy next to St. James Police,
Pies Restaurant and Lotto, opposite TTT, and Photo King Lotto in City Gate. Get your tickets now.
Queens Royal College, 3-car raffle.
Welcome to Car City Trading, your #1 supply of brand new Korean auto parts. Come on down to lot number 78, Bamboo Settlement number 2, Valsane, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday to get your Hyundai and Kia vehicular needs. Car City Trading has everything your vehicle needs, from a brand new head and blocks to engine parts, transmissions, suspension parts, body parts, electrical parts, braking system, AC system, even the smallest sensor, and much more. WhatsApp us today at 704-2246 or call us at 645-2603 and let us be your car parts solution. Be sure to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and look out for our monthly deals and promotions. Car City Trading, quality products at unbeatable prices.
Welcome to Caribbean Tourist Villa, your home away from home in the heart of Port of Spain. With over 25 years of trusted hospitality, Caribbean Tourist Villa has been a reliable choice for both business professionals and vacationers. Our guest rooms are thoughtfully equipped with all the essentials for a relaxing and productive stay, and our tranquil pool area is perfect for relaxation after a busy day. We've created the ideal space for you to relax, recharge, and enjoy. Give us a call to book your stay today.
Tired of the daily school run? Say hello to Open Minds Education, your 100% online school built for life in the Caribbean. From preschool to secondary, they've got your child covered. Anytime, anywhere, no traffic, no textbooks, no hidden fees, just smart, flexible learning with real teachers who care. It takes a village to raise a child, and Open Minds, they are that village. Learn today, lead tomorrow. Call or WhatsApp 868-388-6635 or visit openminds.education to register.
At Adams Optical, we care for your vision with everything from stylish frames, contact lenses, and sunglasses, starting at just $595, to advanced eye care services. We also diagnose and manage conditions like glaucoma and cataracts with our in-house ophthalmologist. Additional services include OCT, VFT, and cataract surgeries. Visit us at San Fernando, Chaguanas, or Rio Claro.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, roti makers. Try Chic Lisha high quality, unbleached, bromate free, all purpose and whole wheat flour. Bleached flour and bromate flour is treated with chemicals that can cause cancer, and this is banned in Europe and many other countries. Chic Lisha flour offers a healthier option, being that it's unbleached and bromate free. It also has a finer grain and a softer texture, lower priced and conveniently packaged in 2 pound, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. Available at groceries and supermarkets. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Chic Lisha Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit them at Warrenville, Canupia. Chic Lisha Limited, quality you can trust.
When the carnival pace pick up, Royal Castle is the most tasty and convenient stop.
Welcome to Royal Castle's drive-thru.
Whether we heading to the beach with chicken buckets and sides, having a house line with all the combos and sandwiches, or we stop by the castle to eat before the fete. Royal Castle local flavor is always part of the carnival.
Are you living with pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes? Manage it with the unique Jameson 100% complete multivitamin with 400 micrograms of chromium to lower blood glucose, lutein for your eyes, B vitamins for energy, vitamin C and lycopene for antioxidant support. Take a step towards a healthier tomorrow and make the proactive switch to Jameson today.
All right, we're 5 minutes past the hour, 7 o'clock. I want to get straight to the phone lines, find out your thoughts on what is taking place with this zones of special operation. I gave you my thoughts. I tired of this nonsense. Look, 327-7400. We're taking calls from now until nights, which is at 7:35. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, morning. Go ahead.
Stefan, I have no problem. In matters of national security, I don't ever believe that any government would go into that with any type of racist agenda. And I don't believe, I want to give this, I will give this government as all that they go into this with good intentions. And just to add a little balance to this, and I hear you say this already, that sometimes you have to be in something to understand a next point of view. And I'm saying that when you say, well, I think you give witness to that you was held up already. Yeah. You have to be in the situation to understand how somebody does feel. And I remember growing up and my mother asking me, she said, you tell them your mother is an Indian? She saw it, because what happened is my genetics, I take more on my father's side, so my genes are more African nature. So I living in Superior, in an area like Superior, there's a particular type of treatment that I get, that I have to go and tell, that my mother has to show up, so that a security officer or whatever it is, oh, so your mother's an Indian, so, right, good. Now I'm saying that to say that not everybody does things the same, right? And when you see matters of national security getting implemented, and as people say, they put a race card, you have to be in a situation like presently. When I go into some groceries, I alone get tagged along with a security officer. Right? And that is not to say that the person racist, the person traumatized of what's going on in the country. But again, the agenda now turns into a kind of, like you're targeting me. Because you're seeing something on social media and you're seeing the composition of the criminals in the country. So you have me and my family feel uncomfortable because of what's going on. And I don't know if you get, I'm not saying, I just want to bring balance to what you would have raised now. That at the end of the day, some policies you have to be careful how you're implemented, because remember the first SOE this government put in place, some money had to jump out of your pocket and my pocket to pay some people for that, eh?
All right, no problem.
You remember that?
Yeah, that was the SOE back in, oh God, when it was 2011 or thereabouts? Right, yeah.
That was under UNC government.
Yes.
And the intention was good, but it was done in a way that my money had to jump out of my pocket and give people who was a criminal nature, give them more money than they was robbing people for.
All right,
So
no problem.
The confidence is what I have an issue with this government implementing things.
All right, no problem. I hear you. Let me just, one of the things I didn't touch on was the safeguards. There are safeguards in the legislation to prevent the police from just apprehending an individual. So in other words, when they say that the police must have reasonable suspicion that a crime has been committed, was going to be, or been committed, was going to be committed or whatever, it is not based on the officer's feelings. It is based on the officer, on evidence then, during a stop and search. So if I stop your vehicle, and your vehicle, we search it, because we have the powers to search it, and we find an illegal firearm, we could lock you up. If the officers do not have reasonable evidence to apprehend you, you must go before a magistrate within a particular time frame, a very quick time frame, in order for your matter to be heard and be dismissed or otherwise. Right? So there are certain safeguards in the legislation for those things. Morning.
Yes, sir, for morning.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
I like how we instituted them for 6. But I want to put out something for the opposition members and for the people on social media who are trying to make this a race thing. I want them show me a video of bandits of African descent going to rob somebody, and when they see the persons of African descent, they say, nah boy, I can't rob you again now. All of we together, all of us one. I want to see a video like that.
I don't know where you're going with that. I don't know where you're going with that, but...
No, what I'm saying is until people in areas behave themselves, because really and truly, it's are people hiding bandits and hiding bad behavior, you know.
Yes, we could have, I could agree with that.
Some people doing it out of fear too, eh? Don't get me wrong, some people doing it out of fear too, because if I know my bandit next door, if it next door to me have plenty gun and plenty bandit and all kind, I wouldn't look to what I would see, because police are living by me 24/7, so who will protect me?
Okay. All right.
But there's only time will tell, And that's when people talking, time will tell, and then we see how this thing goes.
Yeah. I think it should be given an opportunity. It worked in Jamaica. Just give it the just let them roll it out, and let us see where it takes us. I am particularly concerned with the build part of it, in terms of the community development aspect of it. And that is where we're going to really put a dent in criminal activity, when we could build back communities in a positive way, man. Morning.
Good morning, Stefan.
Yeah.
Stefan, let me tell you something. To dismiss all this narrative of this nonsense race thing that PNM propagandists always want to try to use whenever it shows up the failure of how they govern the country. Where you need to go to get data and facts, you know where they should go? They should take all the data and facts from the prison. Golden Grove Prison, Frederick Street Prison, and then do an analysis of the prisoners, the people who commit crime and who they have them in jail, and then zone them. Say, okay, we have prisoners from these areas and the majority, and then put zone, because you want to zone where criminals are. They are in the prison, and then zone them, and then look at the ethnicity of the people who you're zoning and where they come from. And that would dismiss all the nonsense they're talking about, the Prime Minister would just choose areas and on random and target people. Go where it is, you have the facts and the data of the people who committing the crime, find out where they are from, find out, and then let them see the ethnicity of the people. And let me tell you something, people don't understand this. The ethnicity of the people in prison is solely and wholly based on the governance of the PNM. Because if they were aligned as an African party, and you in government for so long, and then the majority of the people in prison is the people who you say you in government of and put you in power, that alone says how you neglect and you send your people into oppression and force them into poverty, when you should be creating upliftment and elevating communities. Look at the stronghold PNM communities. They are the most depressed, the most vulnerable, and the most crime-ridden communities. And these are the people who come in to try to advise the government how to govern the country and where to zone people. Let me tell you something. If anybody you could identify in Trinidad and Tobago as a racist, something had to be wrong with people, because they don't understand the meaning of what racism is. You can't survive in Trinidad and Tobago if you are a racist. You might have cultural differences, but to be a racist in Trinidad and Tobago, that is just hatred, that is ignorance, and that is stupidity that people is used when they're trying to deflect blame on their incompetence and their failure of governance and being leaders and uplifting a country. And when you see it come out and understand what is racism, then they got to talk. Have a good morning, Stefan.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah. I'm going again. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Stefan.
Yes, I.
Mr. Stefan, you are a real top class man. You know. It hardly have men like you in Trinidad. The next man like you in Trinidad will be Mr. Lennox Smith. All that is different kind of people, boy. If people listen to all your boy, this country will be a really, really great country. Mr. Stefan, I listened to you this morning, and what I run out my head, I say why people like you cannot be in places to really help people. Because all you have the kind of way, all you just think, but not everybody does think so. I listened to that first caller, and he end again with this nonsense thing, like when he against Andrew Roberts, but why this man so far?
No, listen, right? Forget that. Everybody's gonna listen.
No, Mr. Stephan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have an opinion, but you cannot just keep like that, with Mr. Stephan. Every time you talk, but you only have this kind of race system in you. And let me go and tell you something about PNM. PNM is a party that use race to get in power. I wouldn't say that the PNM party itself is a racist party, right? But to keep themselves in power, they use that narrative. Because you can remember when they was in Tobago, when Ashford Jack had 4 feet in Tobago, right? So John Stanley come and he used the Calcutta ship. People in PNM believe that, and they give them the 12, and then Shamfa, Kojo, and Roy come in, and then they use it against Washington Juke, right? But then the people, they try using it right through this one against the UNC. Even Ronnie said how it is a threat to democracy.
Right.
When the TPP joining with the UNC. So it's a race thing, but the people in Tobago realize this race thing is working. And the parents can use race in Tobago again. But I will say, I would like to keep the PM there all the time. Because you know why? It will show you them is the worst example of racial segregation. That's what I have to say this one, Mr. Stephan.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Let me go again. Yeah, morning.
Stefan, morning.
Morning, go ahead.
Morning, Stefan. Stefan, you know when we just know we have a problem, when I realize we have a problem, Stefan, I see when you're in prison, on a remand, on any airing yard, Stefan, and you look around, they just know you have a problem. You see when you come outside the court, before the courts and the must close, and you come outside the court and you see them coming off the truck, going into the courts. Stefan, I've been in the system. They you just see where we have a problem. You see when we sit on social media every day and we watching the school fights and the bag snatching and the robberies taking place, we just know we have a problem. But people wouldn't see it that way, you know. Everything is race in this country. But here what they need to do, they need to do a little experiment. Go in the remand yard in the Port of Spring prison or in Angola Grove and watch around in the area yard, Stefan, look on and listening.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I can tell you something about that. Well, the remand yard has been, I think they've closed it down already, have they? I know they were going to decommission it. I'm not too sure if they've done that already. But I have seen inside remand yard. I could tell you about remand yard. We went down in there to do pest control back in the day when my father got the contract for the year. Let me tell you something, The prisons in Trinidad and Tobago really need an upgrade. And I think the government is making the right move in shutting down that Frederick Street prison. That is not a prison. That is a dungeon. Morning.
Morning, Stefan.
Yes, I.
Yeah. Clico. The biggest, largest white-collar crime that has committed in Trinidad and Tobago, costing taxpayers $28 billion and counting. We have to pin all of that on the PNM chest. And let me explain to you. All and plenty PNM ministers, high officials in the PNM has been protected. This white-collar crime is another O'Halloran issue that Eric Williams protected him. This one is that KCR protected them. And I will tell you, a lot of ministers were implicated in that, right?
Yeah.
3 of them gave, what is it saying in the Clico thing, give evidence. Karen Yunus Teixeira, Bo Tiwari, and Mervyn Assam, they gave. There was no finding against them. There was 3 other PNM ministers. A Montano, a fella Brown, who always on television, giving advice. And another one who was in Guyana, an energy man, call him Conrad. Those people had no integrity. This fella they called, I don't want to call him name, was in Clico in Barbados. They bring him in Trinidad. He was head of the Clico, and he didn't give any evidence. He failed to give evidence so that the corrective and preventive action would have taken against white-collar criminals to prevent it. And don't talk about the O'Halloran clone, which is a fella who was the treasurer of the PNM, who had to pay a lot of money. I don't know if he's still a hierarchy. I won't call his name, because the Attorney General say people have been colluded and a conspiracy, and say that is fraud, that is criminal.
Yeah.
I think the Prime Minister called out a Muslim fella with a Muslim name who was Attorney General and a Koyama and everything. I think that is, I feel passionate about that. We as a country, we have to move forward. We have to prosecute those people. PNM continue to do wrong things and they get away. You ever hear about the Attorney General Limo? He was a counsel. Smallpin was a counsel for PNM people in the thing. All of them knew how to protect it. And KCR protected them by not investigating it. I'm going to have a nice...
All right, man, no problem. Yeah. 327-7400. Going again. Morning.
Morning, Stefan.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's nice to see that they're dealing with this zone of special operations by data. Once you implement using data, nobody could criticize, because the data is there as proof for the special zone of operations. Now, last week, when I called in and I said if it is not implemented by data, it wouldn't make any sense. I don't know if you thought I was against it, but I heard other people call in and condemn what I said, asking where is the data for this and where was the data for that. If you implement things by data, then the public will have no excuse but to accept what you're doing, and it's not what you say, it's what you do, and also how you do it.
I agree with you, and I agree with you that data is extremely important. And I'll show you, and I could draw an example in recent times. They gave us the data on the traffic situation, right, with the fines. They gave the data after implementing the increase. Had they given the data before, it would have been a totally different story.
I have no problem with that, Stefan.
No, but I'm saying they did the last thing first and the first thing last, which is where, that's a recipe for chaos.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is, because I couldn't explain everything in details, because somebody call it, you mustn't give them fellas so much time on the air, because they feel you are opposing what the party they support. They feel you are opposing whatever the party they support trying to implement. And I wasn't opposing anything. I was just giving my opinion based on observation. So have a pleasant day. And to the callers, everybody is entitled to their own opinion.
Exactly.
Stop labeling people. Stop labeling people.
I agree.
I don't call to label anybody or to condemn anybody on what they think should happen or what they feel should happen. Yeah. I give my contribution based on my opinion. Have a pleasant day.
All right, my brother.
Love in the house for everybody and all the viewers.
As well, yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one. Yeah, and let me say this. I know that sometimes as viewers, we might hear a difference of opinion. That is good. It is good to have a difference of opinion, or somebody put a different perspective on a conversation. So, but what you have to keep in mind, you don't have to like my opinion. You don't. You could say, boy, Stefan, you talk real nonsense today. I'll just ask you, well, why, boy? And I give you the opportunity to explain yourself, right? And your whole position on something can be totally different to my perspective. And that is fine, that is good, that is healthy. Within that conversation, something might pop up where maybe I didn't think of that, I didn't look at it that way. That is where we want the conversation to be. And I want to say this moving forward. I know that there is this culture of us making the issue or putting the focus on what somebody else call in and say. What somebody else calls in and say should have absolutely no influence on your opinion on an issue. So instead of the back and forth and that caller there and this caller that, and let me forget all of that. Every caller has the opportunity to give their opinion, and when you call in, just deal with the issue. Right? Just deal with the issue, because it's the people who don't get to call in, or the people who don't call in, or the people that are watching the show from abroad or regionally, whatever, they have enough sense to make sense out of nonsense, and they will also formulate their opinions based on the information given on the program or something that you might say on the phone. So it's not healthy for us to waste time being specific to what some callers say. Deal with the issue at hand. The issue is the zone of special operations, and what the narrative has turned into via the opposition narrative, and why that should not be the narrative and it should not be the focus of the conversation. Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, man.
We often focus on the wrong thing. Trinidad and Tobago is equally divided along the lines of race. Like it or like it, these are the facts.
No.
Data, if you want to call it data. And in doing that, we need to look at who the criminals are and treat it as crime and criminals and bringing them to justice and upping the penalty for that. So in order for them to bring down the crime, whatever measures are put in place by either party, whichever one, it is designed to bring down crime. Those who are defending criminals, maybe they are lawyers and they have to do what they have to do. Maybe they have a particular agenda.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, we need to deal with the criminals. And we need to have the police go after them, whatever measures they put in place, and bring them to justice. But what I am looking for is for them to up the penalties and longer jail time and build more jails and community service for people who commit minor crimes. So we'll have parts of the roads clean and the drains clean and all that, and Trinidad will be a better place. But we cannot sit down, bury our heads in the sand, and say, people only talking racial. Like we need to deal with the issues, and not the things on the periphery. As far as the other issue with the press conference by the UNC, yeah, I think and all too that they need to up the optics. They need to put a coat of arms in the back. They need to fix that area, put proper microphones and have it professional.
Yeah, but caller,
it doesn't matter where it comes from, whether it's Tongue, Central or where. Donald Trump just gives press conference from a plane, from Mar-a-Lago, from all over. It doesn't matter.
True.
What issue is the message coming across? The message coming, and the media people, when they go, they always refer to Marvin Gonzalez, Dr. Amy Brown. They are the authority. For the last 10 years, they have all the answers and can't do nothing. So the issue is not, let me not deal with location, let me deal with the messaging. And in my view, the messaging is poor. We need to move Cook Meg, who is not a good presenter. Put Arnold Roberts to deal with the media. And we go get a better report. Have a good day, man.
All right, cool, man. We're just about 29 minutes past your 7 o'clock. We got to get to the break and get to eat night, so I have to hold on the phone calls there. There's going to be much room for this discussion, I would imagine, as the week goes along. This bill, while it was passed in the House, it still has to go to the Senate. They need a special majority, and they will have to get that special majority from the independent senators. All right, so we will see how the vote goes in the Senate. So remember, this is not law yet. Nothing has been passed. It has just been passed in the House. Let me be very clear on that. Okay? I think it is a good piece of legislation. I think it's a good initiative. Once it is dealt with from a holistic standpoint, where you extract the criminal gangs, you maintain law and order in the community, and then you work with the social services development people and the community development organizations to rebuild those communities. I think once that is executed proper, we are going to see a serious shift in Trinidad and Tobago as it relates to crime. Okay? But we have to give things time to grow. Fear-mongering cannot be the order of the day. Fear-mongering gets us nowhere. To all those youths in the community, all those people in the community that might be in a negative lifestyle, this is an opportunity for you to walk away. Nobody is talking about that aspect of it. It is an opportunity for you to approach law enforcement and say, boy, I want out of this life. Because some of them want out, but they can't get out. Because that's how it goes. Once you're in, you're in. So it might have some of them they're there, but they really don't want to be there. And if we could save some of them, it's a win. For those who do not want to be saved, you can't do nothing about that. I have said in the past, and I say it again. We have to acknowledge the fact that we have lost a generation. We have. It's unfortunate, but we have. What this government needs to understand, though, is that while I see what you're trying to do, certain support structures are lacking. For instance, we have heard for years that the government has been financing criminals through programs like CPEP and URP. For years. Gary Griffith has sang that road march for years. We know it is a reality, although some people pretend it is not. Right? But we know that is a reality. So, I see you cut that out, and you cut out the URP, and you have gone into a restructuring stage of that, right? Which is all well and good. Fine. No problem. You want to deal with the contractors and so on and so forth and target them, but you have to understand that the small man on the ground is the one the pressure trickles down to. So while you're all getting your salaries of $60,000 and $70,000 and $80,000 or whatever it is, those people need something now. So I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're doing, not what you're trying to do. You kept the SOE in place. You allow the police to operate. You shut down certain aspects of a criminal organization, which would have been within the CPEP and URP programs. And now you're moving towards the zones of operation, where there is a community development aspect attached to it. However, where is the employment opportunities that were touted since December? Now, I know I inquired about this a little while ago, last week. I understand it's 100 and something thousand people that they have to go through, right? Qualifications and so on and so forth. And then they have to say, okay, this person is qualified for that, that person is qualified. It's over 150,000 people. That is the desperate situation of people in Trinidad and Tobago. So while you are doing one thing here, trying to alleviate crime, you're leaving the door open for persons to engage in crime because of the unemployment situation and people being displaced from certain programs. Right? And that is something that needs to be dealt with sooner than later. Okay? If you're going to do something on a structure, why is I hearing that, fellas? Yeah. Right. So while you're trying to do something on one hand, one way, you have to also plug the hole on the other side. Now I understand money is the issue. Money will always be the issue, at least for a little while, because you have not inherited a healthy financial situation. I see that the minister, there was an article or a headline surfaced sometime over the weekend about some loan for some $1 billion loan. I understand that that is a loan that has been pursued for a while now. They've been trying to pursue this loan to kickstart the economy because of the financial situation that they got caught in. People already start, oh, they're going to borrow more money and dig more hole and we taxpayer to pay back. But if you have no money, what do you do? Of course, you have to open up revenue streams and so on and so forth. You have to get foreign investment in the country, things like that. The Venezuela situation has just come to some calm, and there is not stability yet in that aspect of the region. So that will affect certain things. But the government has to get a loan. I understand that certain people within certain ministries holding permanent secretary positions have been blocking to make things difficult, right? Because their allegiance is with the opposition. And I understand that you all have also put things in place to deal with that and get around that hurdle. And that is what has been taking a while. But if that is to be pursued, it should be pursued quickly, because if the economy needs a kickstart or a jumpstart or a boost, and you all know down the road this is where you're getting the money from to fill that hole, fine, no problem. But people need things now. They are not going to wait forever. Okay? They're not going to wait forever, especially grassroots people. All right? A hungry man is an angry man. Just keep that in the back of your head. With that, talking about hunger, don't forget that Chef Shiraz, he has his courses, the Creative International Cuisine Cooking Course and the Baking and Pastry one, and these will take place on the 31st of January, and then the City and Guilds Diploma 3 in February. I don't have the date for that yet, but you could call Chef and get more information on 3724639 or 7375097. Stay tuned, Eid Night is up next.
They gave us the music.
I feel like home.
They gave us the memory.
Woman, you could run away too.
They gave us the rhythms of life.
Trinidad and Tobago. Join us for a special tribute to our legendary musical icons who have passed on in, gone, but not forgotten.
Including Bunny, Swallow, Singing Francine, Shadow, Arrow, Maestro, Rootsman, Lax, Sandoli, The Mighty Terror, plus lots more. Their music still lives on in our heart. An unforgettable night as we celebrate their legacy in Gone But Not Forgotten. Wednesday, February 4th at Napa and Thursday, February 5th at Sapa. Showtime both nights, 6:30 p.m. Your master of ceremonies, Sonny Bling.
Tickets $300 and $250.
Early bird tickets bought by Monday, January 26th, cost $50 less.
For more info, call 732-3402. Gone but not forgotten.
Ostomy care is a unique and intimate condition that can seem challenging for individuals afflicted by it. At Better Life Ostomy Care, they understand and offer a wide range of products and services that will allow ostomates to lead a better life. From colostomy and urostomy pouches, paste and powders, antibacterial wipes, Brava strips, deodorants, gloves, gauze, bed liners, and much, much more. They also have RN care available for ostomy home care with affordable starter packages. No need to look for nurse or supply, everything is just a phone call away. Better Life Ostomy Care is located at number 4 Mosque Street, Caroni. You can call them at 308-6709 or 472-5878 or visit their website at www.betterlifeostomycareTT.com to find out more about their offerings. You can also write to them at betterlifeostomycareTT@gmail.com or find them on Facebook. Better Life Ostomy Care, servicing ostomates with a better quality of life.
Welcome to Caribbean Tourist Villa, your home away from home in the heart of Port of Spain. With over 25 years of trusted hospitality, Caribbean Tourist Villa has been a reliable choice for both business professionals and vacationers. Our guest rooms are thoughtfully equipped with all the essentials for a relaxing and productive stay, and our tranquil pool area is perfect for relaxation after a busy day. We've created the ideal space for you to relax, recharge, and enjoy. Give us a call to book your stay today.
Concerned about the safety and security of your property? Then look no further. At Electromatic Gate Systems, they specialize in fabrication of gates, fencing, and much more. They also provide remote control access for sliding and swing gates and garage doors for residential, commercial, and industrial use. Have a design in mind? They can fabricate and motorize it into reality. Why choose them? They supply Italian-made motors backed by 10 years warranty, and you can ask about their lifetime warranty packages. Electromatic Gate Systems remains the sole authorized distributor for ProfoundNet throughout the Caribbean. Don't compromise your security. Contact them today at 333-GATE, that is 333-4283. Find them on Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, or visit their website at www.electromaticgates.com. Their team is standing by to assist.
Air conditioning problems? Then look no further. A&K Air Conditioning Supplies offers you an easy solution for all your automotive, commercial, and domestic air conditioning needs. With 2 convenient locations to serve you, A&K Air Conditioning Supplies offers you an extensive range of parts and services, including pressure test kits, refrigerators parts, front and rear evaporators for maxi taxis. They also cater for both foreign and local automobile models like Kia, Hyundai, Honda, Nissan, and more. So pay them a visit today at either of their 2 locations. Number 36 Alfonso Street, Sangre Grande. Phone 784-2707 or 386-5700. And number 133 Corner Roland Street at Bonaventure Main Road, Gasparillo. Phone 312-2245 or 782-9720.
Tired of the daily school run? Say hello to Open Minds Education, your 100% online school built for life in the Caribbean. From preschool to secondary, they've got your child covered. Anytime, anywhere, no traffic, no textbooks, no hidden fees. Just smart, flexible learning with real teachers who care. It takes a village to raise a child, and Open Minds, they are that village. Learn today, lead tomorrow. Call or WhatsApp 868-388-6635 or visit openminds.education to register.
Is your life stuck in the same struggles again and again? Pandith Bhargav helps remove negative energy, solve love problems, fix marriage disputes, clear financial stress, and stabilize job and business issues. With accurate psychic, palm, and horoscope readings, he guides you toward the right path. His powerful 30-minute session brings quick relief and clear direction. Take the first step today. Call +1 868-347-2350.
Welcome to Car City Trading, your #1 supply of brand new Korean auto parts. Come on down to lot number 78, Bamboo Settlement number 2, Valsayn, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday to get your Hyundai and Kia vehicular needs. Car City Trading has everything your vehicle needs, from a brand new head and blocks to engine parts, transmissions, suspension parts, body parts, electrical parts, braking system, AC system, even the smallest sensor, and much more. WhatsApp us today at 704-2246 or call us at 645-2603 and let us be your car parts solution. Be sure to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and look out for our monthly deals and promotions. Car City Trading, quality products at unbeatable prices.
All right, so we're back. We're just about 60 minutes away from the hour of 8 o'clock. We got Dr. Thompson and Dr. Navarro with us. We're going to bring them in via Zoom. And this is Eden Heights Clinic, man. And it's Monday morning. So, guys, good morning to you. And what are we talking about this morning here?
Good morning, good morning.
Morning, Dr. Thompson.
Right, talking about natural support for joint pain and stiffness. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the topic this morning. So I'll let Dr. Navarro start and then I'll fall in after.
Okay, all right. So basically when we have a buildup of inflammation in the joints, that's because of poor diet. So the first thing you want to do, well, number one, if they come in with knee pain, shoulder, whatever, back pain, I would do an x-ray for the joint, look at the joint to see the condition of the cartilage, or if it's the back or the C-spine, the thoracic or the lower lumbar. A non-contrast CT scan will show me exactly where the nerve is being impinged, and if it's the L4, 5, or the L1, 2, 3 down to the S1, I would then know where to inject, do the injections and stuff like that. And we're talking about prolozone therapy. But of course, not just doing the injections, because I know the injections are direct. The injections are non-steroid, non-cortisone injections. So there is no danger if you have to do continued injections. It's because, of course, it's a therapy. And we don't include any steroids or cortisone in injection. It's a natural formula that we use, a combination of different things that we inject into the area first, if it's the knee or the back, followed by ozone, which is O3, which increases the oxygen to the tissue. Of course, the main thing is that we have a 94% success rate when we change the diet. I always advise the patients to change their diet because most of the times it's the food that they're eating that causes the inflammation. So foods, just give you some example, the foods, sugar, like in juice, or whatever, cereals or desserts or snacks. We remove that. Dairy and all kind, especially cow's milk. You can use goat milk or almond milk once it's organic. And of course, we remove animal protein because excessive amount of animal protein increases the amount of uric acid that can cause inflammation in the joints. Also, down to flour and all, bread. Depends on how the bread is made. So normally we ask them to eat they can eat a little bit of sourdough. But other than that, we remove all those things. And of course, it's a do not eat list. We will then put them on certain supplements based on what we see in the blood. And of course, if they have any other issues, we'll deal with those, right? And then we put them on a course of injections. Once a week, they come in to do the injection. If it's severe, we will do injections twice per week, the prolozone, and usually that will start the healing process. It's a healing process, of course, where we do the injections into the joint. If it's the back, if it's the shoulder, knees, ankle, it doesn't matter, okay? We inject into that area, and it's natural stuff that usually brings about the healing. And sometimes between 3 to 4, or sometimes 4 to 5 injections, they start to see a difference in the condition of the joint. Most important is that they must eat properly. You can't expect, simple thing like sometimes they just come off the sugar. I've had patients who, they have the little gardens. They say, Doc, when I bend down and I kneel down, boy, pain in the joint. And I catch them till to get up. And just coming off, I say, just come off the sugar. Sometimes they just come off the sugar, the sugar in the foods, and the joint will heal itself naturally. All right? We also provide, sometimes we have, it depends on the condition of the joint. If we find that, for instance, when you're looking at a knee and the cartilage is worn, I would put them on collagen. A marine, I have what you call a marine and also a bovine collagen that will build back slowly build back the levels of the cartilage in the joints. It's not a quick fix. I always tell people it's not a quick fix. And they would get ease from using the collagen. The other stuff that we use also to reduce the inflammation, we would do intravenous stuff as well. We have something called ozonated saline. Now, ozonated saline has been around for a long time. We just recently got into it because doing some research I saw where in India they were using that for severe rheumatoid arthritis, and you know how bad rheumatoid arthritis can be. The joints become deformed. It is extreme pain, and we do the intravenous using an apparatus. It's a special apparatus that you have to buy, and then you ozonate the saline, and then it's infused by the vein into the body, and that also reduces inflammation any part of the body. So it reduces the inflammation while you're doing the injection. So it's a further plus for the patient. So while they're doing the injections, we'll alternate with the ozonated saline, and of course we also do ozone. Ozone also helps with pain. It helps with circulation because it's important to get the blood flowing to the joints and increasing the nutrient in the body to the joints so that it can heal. That's the problem with most joint pain, of course, is a lack of nutrients and oxygen to the site of the injury. So, and that is because of poor eating habits and, of course, poor circulation. So once we increase the nutrients via the diet, because, of course, they have to change the diet, you cannot be eating any and everything and expect that your joints are going to get better just so. That does not happen. So we do the injections, we change the diet, and of course we have the ozone and the ozonated saline to back up the injections, and therefore we get a very high percentage of success. And of course, the other thing I suppose I'll leave that with Dr. Thompson, is exercising the joints.
Right.
People who don't exercise, you find that they end up with joint pain. They are couch potatoes, they call them. They sit down all the time. Or as you get older, you find that you have joint pain all over. That's because you're not moving. You're not moving the joints, so that eventually, after a while, they become stiff and painful.
Okay.
So these are some of the methods that we use to improve the condition of the joints. We have, as I said before, with the diet, the IVs and the injections, we get approximately about a 94% success rate, right? So I'll pass Dr. Thompson could continue on that.
All right. Dr. Thompson?
Right, so you'll pass the baton on. Right, so, well, of course, what I'd like to start with is that, pain, I would say, is actually information. All right, it's information that the body is actually giving you to tell you that something is more or less wrong. All right, so, for example, if a person actually develops a knee pain, body is actually sending signals, say, hey, there's something, of course, wrong with the knee. Why don't we go into the knee and see exactly what's taking place? Of course, as Dr. Navarro would have actually mentioned before, there are certain, let's say, tests that persons can actually do to check that, right? So we covered more or less that. What I've actually let persons know that, most persons tend to believe that as a person actually gets older, they should get pain. But I've seen persons actually come into the clinic and they're like sometimes 90, 80 something, and they could actually stoop very, very low and they don't get no pain, they don't have no discomfort or anything like that. So pain more or less comes along because of, again, lifestyle factors. As Dr. Navarro actually mentioned before, not moving. When you don't move, the muscle actually gets very weak. And when those muscle actually gets really weak, then automatically the joints actually start to suffer after a while. I've seen persons where they will basically tell them, they are in pain, and they tell them actually to stop moving. Right? If it is that you have a car, right, and it actually has issues, you take it to the mechanic, and then the mechanic tell you, leave it packed down for a whole year. What do you think will happen? It actually gets worse. So that's why movement is so important. Because if you move, your blood actually starts to flow. That's why it's actually good for persons who actually have trouble moving. They do like these water exercises, and it helps. So that's why we have the concept of the oxygen bath. If a person actually come in and they're in extreme pain, all right, an oxygen bath will stimulate blood flow to the areas that they actually have in pain. Of course, and I'm not saying that it will take away all the pain, but it can actually be a start of relieving a lot of pain, let's say over 75%. And then that person could start, let's say, doing cleansing of the colon. They could also start doing many of the different ozone IV, which helps to introduce oxygen into the area that actually is not getting that blood flow. Because most of the time it's really poor oxygen to the area. If you look at many diseases itself, it's more or less poor oxygen that is not getting to an area. For example, for blood pressure, if a person actually has clogged arteries, in order for blood flow and oxygen to reach that area, the blood pressure has to be raised. So automatically the body actually thinks about these things. So things don't just happen just like that. The body is actually sending information to you, and the more you take that information and apply principles to it. So I believe that, most persons tend to actually get sick because, we don't completely follow what we call the laws of health. For example, not drinking enough water. If your body is dehydrated, automatically, no matter what you do, right? I've seen persons come in, give them a prolozone injection, and they hate drinking water. Obviously, the injection will give them a little help. Guess what? If they don't drink water, then they're going to have problems. So that's why we try to do it a holistic approach in changing that person's, let's say, perception, because we need to educate while we're actually treating that person as well. So education is actually very important. So when a person actually comes in and they do consultation, of course, consultation inclusive of the live blood analysis, that is like an educational approach. So while they're there for that half an hour to 45 minutes at times, or sometimes even more than that, because some people ask a lot of questions and you have to answer those questions. Of course, if we have the time, we'll spend a little more time. If you don't have the time, if there's a lot of persons coming in, of course, you need to give somebody else a chance, to get their questions answered. I always say that to person, because some person might want to spend 2 hours and talking to you. So again, that live blood analysis is to let persons see for themselves actually what is going on, and then we having a conversation. Within that conversation, persons are actually learning so much about their circulation, their immune system, how it actually functions. They're learning about things like if there's parasites that may affect the body. They're also learning about how digestion actually works. So we're having a good conversation, and when they finish with the conversation, of course, you get a booklet to work with, which tells that person, okay, this is what I must eat, this is what I must stay away from. If I could do that within about 3 months' time, I should see a little change within my body. Some persons actually have the, let's say, the ability to sometimes actually come off medication, because if they stay on it, they actually get worse because their blood pressure may be drop really low, their sugar might drop very low if they continue onto that path. So everyone actually has the ability to change. Some person just take it shorter, all right? Some person will have to take the long haul where they take, or instead of 3 months, they might do to 5 to 8 months, or even to a year. They will be working and working. So it takes time. And if you give the body enough time to make changes, you don't have to be that older adult that is actually in pain. There are young persons coming in that actually having trouble like arthritis. They have basically simple thing as erectile dysfunction, actually dealt with a young guy. He was actually the age of 23. So in other words, everyone can actually get sick. It just depends on how you actually look and take care of yourself. So I guess I'll close up at that. I just wanted to share the numbers for persons so that they can. You can always WhatsApp us on the 493-9196, 493-9196. Persons can get us on those on that number. You can send your messages. Of course, we open from 8 in the morning till around 4:30 in the evening, and that's Monday to Thursday. If you message between those timings, you'll get a quick reply from either the reception or myself as well. All right, so Stefan,
Just want to mention one thing. if those who coming in for any kind of joint treatment, whether it's back, shoulder, an X-ray, if you have an X-ray or a CT, a non-contrast CT scan, walk with your scan. For backs, especially the whole spine, I prefer that you do a non-contrast CT because it shows up the area exactly where the problem is. But with joints like hip, knees, ankles, shoulders, X-ray is fine. All right. So walk with your reports. If you don't have the X-ray, you can walk with the report, and that's fine.
All right, brilliant.
Just want to mention that.
Of course. So people, you can contact Eden Heights Clinic on 640-8985. You could also contact them on 613-7571. And of course, Dr. Thompson gave the WhatsApp number, and they're located in Trin City and Shagona. So check them out, man. You know what I mean? People, you know what I mean? All kind of pain. That kind of year, is that time of the year, you know, fellas? It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. All right, so thanks a lot, man.
Okay, blessings.
Yeah, man.
Blessings.
So that is Dr. Thompson, Dr. Navarro there. And yeah, man, Eden Heights Clinic. We got to take a break. When we come back, we got some birthdays and then we're out of here. Stay tuned.
Concerned about the safety and security of your property? Then look no further. At Electromatic Gate Systems, they specialize in fabrication of gates, fencing, and much more. They also provide remote control access for sliding and swing gates and garage doors for residential, commercial, and industrial use. Have a design in mind? They can fabricate and motorize it into reality. Why choose them? They supply Italian-made motors backed by 10 years warranty, and you can ask about their lifetime warranty packages. Electromatic Gate Systems remains the sole authorized distributor for ProfoundNet throughout the Caribbean. Don't compromise your security. Contact them today at 333-GATE. That is 333-4283. Find them on Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, or visit their website at www.electromaticgates.com. Their team is standing by to assist.
This coming Monday, January 19th, it's your last day to purchase physical tickets for the massive 3-car raffle promoted on behalf of Queens Royal College.
There will be no further extensions, so get your tickets by this Monday, January 19th.
Draw date is Saturday, January 24th at the college. Some ticket outlets include True Value, Reliable Appliances, Christina Shoe Store, Kenny Sports, Unique Bookstore, Extra Foods, JTA Supermarkets, Police Credit Union, ABC Home Center, The Trinity Shop, PRW Enterprises, Sharon Bookstores, Starlight Drugs, Ishmael Khan & Sons, Shamir Spas, Modern Electrical, Bagans Drugs, Stevenson's Fashions, Bagalito Enterprises, Solara, also Crosby St. James, Athletes by the Park, Cincinnati Drugs Sangre Grande, Bellini Drugs San Fernando, IslandEtickets.com.
Get your tickets now.
For more info, call the college at 622-1671 or the hotline at 491-1802.
At Lashana's Palette Design, we turn simple wood into stunning professional palette furniture for any space. Cozy up your living room, elevate your bedroom, dine in style or relax outdoors, all with custom designs made just for you. Bring your vision to life with custom-built furniture that tells your story. Call or WhatsApp us today at 868-366-0800 and follow our social media to see the magic at Lashana's Palette Design.
When the carnival pace pick up, Royal Castle is the most tasty and convenient stop.
Welcome to Royal Castle's drive-thru.
Whether we heading to the beach with chicken buckets and sides, having a house line with all the combos and sandwiches, or we stop by the castle to eat before the fete. Royal Castle local flavor is always part of the carnival.
If you're planning an event, make us your first option. At Reality of a Dream, we can make your event memorable. We can assist in planning your corporate functions, moderate gatherings, family occasions, christenings, and more. We also cater for weddings and other special occasions. Our newly renovated venue includes a majestic entryway, which takes you along a path to a fantastic indoor facility which can accommodate up to 80 dining guests. A recently completed, fully air-conditioned, beautifully designed wing, which maintains the theme and flow of Reality of a Dream, adds 30 extra seats for dining guests. In total, we can now seat a total of 110 dining guests. Come see for yourself the splendor that awaits you. Walk along the path and make your way to the breathtaking, well-maintained swimming pool and gazebo, and also the entire grounds of Reality of a Dream. We've also updated the Dream Suite, which comes with all modern conveniences, where guests can enjoy the feeling of an exquisite retreat overlooking the entire area. Reality of a Dream caters to professional events. We provide secured parking for guests, so call us at 332-6880 and ask for Harriet, located at number 15 Moses Avenue, San Juan. Reality of a Dream, making dreams come true every day.
All right, folks, so we're back, and we're going to wrap things up this morning. And as we prepare to do that, of course, we got the birthdays. So for those of you, first off, I want to say happy birthday going on to Clement. Clement, I cannot remember your last name, but your daughter who works at Massey, she said to tell you happy birthday. I was supposed to do that on your birthday, actual birthday, which was the 14th, but we missed it, or I forgot. So Clement, happy birthday to you. I'm praying to God that the name is Clement. Yeah. Also, to my Aunt Sandra, happy birthday to my Auntie Sandra. She celebrated her birthday on the 15th of January. I forgot that one too. All right. So happy birthday, Auntie Sandra. Nice. All right. So here we go. Good morning. I was setting up belated birthday greetings for our little princess Zoe, wishing her all God's blessings, guidance, and protection from her aunties, cousins, mother, father, brother, and sisters, letting her know that we love her very much and continue shining. She always coming first in her class. Well, bravo to you, Zoe, for coming first in class. Yeah, man, that's what we're talking about, man. Numero uno. Yeah, man, that's what we're talking about. So keep up the good work and, yeah, just stay focused. Also, wishing Shivani Krishna a happy birthday from her mom, Sherry, dad, Navindra, and sisters, Priya and Navita. Wishing you many more to come and have a wonderful day. So, Shivani, happy birthday to you. Yeah. Sending, who's this? Oh, okay, I thought I know the person. Sending special happy birthday greetings to Cornell Moniz, or Moniz. So, Cornell Moniz, from his brother Gerard, his sister Lisa, his wife Melanie, stepdaughters Royal, Deja, and Rishon, and his entire family and closest friends. Enjoy your day. Big up yourself, Cornell. And finally, they said they sent this one before and we didn't do it, so we get it today. Yeah, we did this one, man, with the Hilux. Like they missed it. All right, we'll do it over. Happy birthday going on to Stefan. I remember this. Happy 4th birthday to Stefan from your mother, Jenny. Father, Stefan, Grandma Marlene, your Aunt Angie, and your sisters Serenity and Guida. All right? They said it wasn't aired. You're mistaken, we did this. All right, but what happened is that you sent it. I know what happened. They sent it on the 14th of January for the 17th. And we said it, we did it on the 15th. That is what happened. So we did it on the Thursday, and I'd say we go bring it back the Friday. And we forgot. But we did it on the 15th. And we also have to send a big shout out to Annie Monroe. Annie Monroe, good morning to you. I was at Cooking Vibe. I passed through there to get something to eat on Friday night. And I think it's either your daughter or your niece. They said to shout out Annie Monroe. She watches the program every morning. So Annie, morning to you. All right, we are 10 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock, and we wrap things up today. Tomorrow, in the Parliament as well, the traffic fines and the legislation that was brought. Another embarrassing moment for the opposition, you know. I wouldn't even tell all you about it. I'll hear it tomorrow. Okay? It was pretty embarrassing. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, like I said, tomorrow for that. Run, Stefan, Run. You're going to hear about that come next week. We're going to start the campaign for Run, Stefan, Run. So for those of you, get your running shoes in order. April 26th is the date. Sunday, April 26th. QRC will be the place. Run, Stefan, Run. Start organizing all yourself, right? We'll give you all the information as it relates to registration. As a matter of fact, I think you can register. I have to double check it. But I think we have the registration open on the Trinbago Events online platform. And we would urge people as much as possible to register online this year. The promo codes that we did last year that you would have bought by Sports and Games would have given you the opportunity when you type in the promo code to go online and just follow the information, but it was just an easy way of doing it. We also have a QR code on the flyer this year, so when we put up the flyer on our morning, just scan the QR code and it will take you straight to the site to follow the information, everything. So we're making it as easy as possible this year. We are coming out for the Autistic Society of Trinidad and Tobago again. April is the month of autism, so we're going to stick with that and help them again. So we look forward to you guys coming out and supporting come April. But for now, we wrap things up until tomorrow. Do have a really, really good Monday. All right, I am headed off to radio. You can catch me on 91.1 FM. All right, from 9 to 12. Until then, I'm out. Later.
Good morning. Welcome to Breaking Dawn.